Welcome to Movie Obscura with Adrian and Kelly. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Kelly.
This week we are reviewing Grave Encounters 2, sequel to Grave Encounters.
This was a great movie once again.
Made in 2012 by the Vicious Brothers.
Once again.
And this one follows what was left off in the first one. Sort of.
Kinda.
This one was you have in the beginning.
Would you shut up?
Shut up! We're trying to do a podcast here.
Sons of bitches.
Man.
Subscribe to us.
Yeah, where we? Oh man!
I tell you what, Adrian. Some people just are very rude, aren't they?
Really, you didn't like this movie either? Now you have these guys that are doing a podcast of the original Grave Encounters.
Yeah, they give their reviews on YouTube.
These people on the movie in the beginning are thinking this is an actual movie, except for one person.
Our lead character in Grave Encounters 2. He starts to kind of think that maybe this wasn't a movie after all.
Right. And
what was his name?
Sean.
Sean. That's right.
Sean is a
film student.
I'd say film student. He
I think everybody in this next movie were in some shape or form in film school.
He's got the big dreams of being the next director.
Right. He wants to be the next Wes Craven.
Yes, exactly. And he's at a Halloween party and he dressed as a girl. And he talks about how there are no more Cravens. The movies, there are no more scary movies.
No, everything's crap.
Yes.
Where's the Wes Craven of our generation?
Yes, and so that is his ambition, is to be the next Wes Craven.
Right.
And
even though the movie he's making
is slash and burn.
It's horrible. The scenes.
He has his, I guess you say, new girlfriend in as the starring role.
No, as the lead actress.
She can't act.
She's going to be the next Scream Queen.
And she can't act. I'm sorry, she couldn't act in this. In Slash and Burn.
She couldn't act in that, nor could she really act in the movie of a movie.
And her name was Jenica.
Yeah.
So, and then you have...
his roommate, what was his name?
Charlie.
Oh, yeah, Charlie. Charlie's kind of a dick.
I guess you can call it that.
An asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you have...
Sorry for my foul language.
Yeah, and then you have two other people that join.
Once again, you have a female sound engineer.
Right, and her name was...
I was so attracted to her. That dark hair and kind of that rebel attitude she had.
Yeah, their names are not coming up.
So they were very small roles, even though her death scene was cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway,
Sean is going throughout. He's suddenly realizing that Grave Encounters
might possibly be an actual event, something that actually happened.
Exactly. He starts investigating, and he realizes that...
He's obsessed with this movie, by the way.
He is.
Completely obsessed.
And Charlie and Jenica are like, what are you doing? This is just a movie. Let it go.
Right. We need to focus on our film that we're making for, our film project.
And he is getting more and more obsessed with this.
That's when he starts receiving the emails from Death Awaits.
Yes, and even before that, he was putting stuff together. He was getting evidence to show that some of these things. I mean, he had.
Oh yeah,
he went to our mothership, Internet Movie Database.
Oh yeah,
and he goes, wait a minute.
None of the actors were in anything else but this movie.
Exactly. So he's thinking, hey, why is that? And then he has gotten actual news clippings
of how they're missing. They haven't found the bodies. They haven't discovered what happened to any of the people from the first flick.
So, and then he gets information on Lance's mother.
Right. Right.
And
they all go and visit her.
And she goes, "Oh yeah, he'll be here in just a minute. He'll be here.
You can wait upstairs in his room."
They go in his room. It's all dusty. And Sean goes, "It seems like no one's been in here for a while.
Years.
And that's when the groundskeeper comes in, or the caretaker.
Yep.
And says she has dementia. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Blah blah blah. And that's when they realize, okay, Lance is missing as well. He's gone.
Yeah, he hasn't been, seen for 9 years, 11 months, damn near 10 years.
Yes, and the last time we saw Lance was when he was getting that lobotomy at the hospital.
Yep, and the last scene of, the first movie was him with the bleeding eye talking into the camera about how he's never getting out.
Right.
Or when he gets better, he'll be able to get out.
So then what Sean does is now he goes to the Hartfield Productions, who was going to produce Grave Encounters, the TV series.
Oh, with Jerry, the producer, Jerry Hartfield.
Yep, and he goes up and he's talking about.
He gets the call sheet
printed
out. He doesn't print it out. It's just his computer just magically prints out this call sheet for a music video shoot that Jerry's producing.
And we
production company.
And we think it was from Death Awaits.
Death Awaits, which he has a YouTube stalker, basically.
Yeah,
he thinks it's a YouTube stalker.
He's getting, and the scenes look like it's in a night vision lenses, and this guy is searching in like a 4-corner room surrounded by nothing. He's going around scratching the walls.
Yep.
And just acting really, really peculiar.
Yeah.
So he goes to Jerry Hartfield.
He goes to that music video shoot.
And asks him about the Grave Encounters.
And that's when Jerry kicks him out.
Security
kicks him out. And then Sean's sitting in his car.
He's talking to the camera, his camera.
And then a knock on the window.
It's Jerry.
"I'll talk to you, but not here. Meet me in my offices tomorrow at 2.
So they do talk about it, and they say that it was...
Sean has a hidden camera. He doesn't...
Jerry
doesn't want to be on camera. He doesn't want Sean to have anything to use against him. He wants to find out what he knows about the movie.
Yes. And it was Sean that came to him and goes, "I think this is real."
Yeah. Well, what do you think you know? Jerry asks.
Yes. And he calls him... He calls it and they go, "Yeah, it's real and this and that, but you can't, you won't be getting us, you won't catch anything on me because you're nothing."
Yeah, you're nobody.
You're nobody. Yeah. And no one's gonna believe you anyway.
And Sean catches everything on a little button camera that he's got.
Yes, exactly.
All black and white, 4x3.
So instead of and now Jenica and Charlie are like, we want you to just focus on Slash and Burn. Forget about this.
Forget about this movie.
But he says, let's go to the actual hospital. And film.
So every time that they mention the hospital in the movie, a little black censor bar goes over their mouths and a beep. So you never know what the name of this hospital is. Because in the first movie, when they call it the whatever hospital, it's not the actual name of the hospital. They called
it Commonwealth.
Yeah. And the hospital is
in Vancouver.
In Vancouver, Canada. Right. So they cross the border. Charlie has to dump his weed because evidently you can't cross the border with pot on you or something weird.
Yeah. But first before that, they're not on board. No one's on board except
Jenica.
Jenica's not even on board. Yeah, she's on board.
Her friend. Once he shows the footage of Jerry, the interview with Jerry.
Yes.
That's when she's like, "I'll go."
Charlie does not want to do it.
No, he just wants to focus on the project that they're working on.
And
Sean basically he's like, "You're my producer. You're the one that produces everything I do. I need you on board. This is the film. This is the film that I want to do. This is the film we need to do."
Andrew and Nikki are the other are the other two girls' names. Andrew's the Oriental guy.
Yep,
and Nikki was the black-haired girl that was.
God, she's just tough. Just the rebel.
Yeah, she is the rebel.
The cut-up jeans, the I never liked them, but the little earring that goes through the center of her lip.
I do remember in a part of this movie where they go, we're going to go to the hospital, and they got the crew together. She was standing in nothing but a bra.
When they're in the hotel room.
Yes,
she's got jeans and a bra on, that's all.
And she's smiling. I don't get that either.
Just hanging out with everybody like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand that as well, but there you go. Very nice. And so anyway, you get that, and they get to the I'm going to call it Commonwealth.
We might as well give it a name.
Yeah.
Besides the hospital,
because that's what they called it in the first one.
Yeah.
So they get to Commonwealth. There's a barricade.
Right. They
have the gravel road.
Nikki gets out.
Nikki moves it, and
that's one tough bitch.
And they get up, and they get to the, they get up to the front of the building. He goes, "This is where it is. Let's get out." And the minute Sean gets out, they hear sirens.
And what Charlie calls a Canadian rent-a-cop, the security guard, is behind them. And
he goes, This is a restricted access. It's private property. You need to get off. And
it's not safe. It's not safe because it's full of asbestos.
Yeah, and give me the film.
Give me the film. Then he reaches into the car to grab the camera.
Charlie is shouting obscenities at you.
Oh yeah.
That's you. I'm not giving that film away.
Full ass. Yeah. Just constant swearing at this guy.
So they take off.
With him half in, half out of the car.
You're right. They take off. They get back to the hotel.
He rolls out. He jumps in his car, and they just take off back to the hotel. That's when they party down.
Yeah, they get to the hotel, and they go, yep, we're going back.
3 a.m. because he got an email to meet Death Awaits at the most western... the lowest level, most western room of Commonwealth.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So at 3 a.m., they got their cameras.
Yeah, they go to the hospital.
They show on the hotel bed what cameras they got, what cameras they're going to use.
The night vision, the super high res, all that. They got the bolt cutters.
Yep, the bolt cutters,
which is very important throughout the entire flick.
Exactly. So the security guard is still there.
Still on
duty at 3 a.m.
How long is this guy's shift?
I have no idea.
Is he running 24-hour shifts?
I don't know, because he's still there. He's outside.
They must not have unions in Canada. Canada. Oh.
The Canucks.
The Canucks have no unions.
And they're low crawling on the ground.
Turn off your light. Turn off
your light. And this is what you see on their footage. And the security guard goes, oh, crap. He gets a call. He takes off.
Yeah, he has to take off. So that's when they take off, bolting for that front door with the green spray paint. Death Awaits on the door.
And we all remember that from the first one.
Right.
They enter in, and Andrew then starts setting up the cameras.
Right.
In the same areas that Matt had set up in the first one.
Matt.
So
they do it exactly the same way. All the cameras are the exact same angle and exact same position as the first film.
Yeah,
right.
Yes, and so
they got the window room, couple of hallways, the sub tunnels, and all that.
Right.
The window room is important, and once again in this one.
And now they're checking some of the things out. They're looking through the room, seeing if they see anything, and once everything is set up, they go into that front lobby area, and they find they make themselves an Ouija board.
No, it's already on the table. The spirit board is already on the table. They remove some newspapers and
to see it,
and they find it.
Oh, I thought it looked like it was drawn.
It was drawn but they didn't make it.
It was a man.
It was made, but it was just they called it a spirit board, not a Ouija board.
But it's funny because it was.
I don't know if they had to buy the copyright for Ouija.
Oh well, yeah. But now the funny thing was it wasn't on a original typical Ouija board, it was alphabetical.
Right.
This one was in the set of
like a keyboard. Yeah, it was set up just like a keyboard.
Yeah.
I don't know who the hell designed this one, but they crapped out on it.
Yeah, they did. I thought that was kind of weird. But they had, and they say, is there somebody here to this board? Jenica and Sean are
Yep. They got their hands on it, and they're doing.
So, and then they get and the board and the pointer switches to yes.
Yep.
And and then Nikki and Sean, you guys are moving it.
Yeah. Are you moving it? No. Are you moving it? No.
Yeah.
The atypical way of doing it. Are you doing that? Because I'm not doing that.
Then what is your name? And it spells death awaits. And then it starts moving by itself.
And it starts going crazy.
Doesn't
it spell out finish the film?
Finish the film. Yes.
Yep. And then that's when the table goes flinging against the wall.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And they're excited.
They're not scared.
No.
They're all like, wow!
Unbelievably happy that they just got their first encounter.
Yeah. I'd be crapping myself, Adrian.
Okay, if that actually happened to me, I would be running for the hills, screaming like a newborn woman.
I would have pooped myself.
Oh man, it would have been nuts. So now they're checking all the areas out. We gotta see more. And it was so weird that they're checking the cameras out.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, Andrew. They had these horns.
Oh, the air horns. In order not to get separated or lose their way through this massive set of buildings, they crack light sticks. They have air horns that they get separated so they can hear where they're going, and I think military grade GPS units so that they can know their exact location.
Yes.
So that's what they have, to be able to not get lost in these set of buildings, but they still get lost.
So now they're checking the entire area out for more of this paranormal activity.
They're going to the rooms that were in the movie, where most of the stuff happened.
Yeah, and they get to what looked like a nursery.
Oh, the children's ward.
The children's ward.
That's where they run into the creepy little girl.
There was a rocking chair.
Oh, the rocking horse.
Yeah, the rocking horse is rocking by itself.
By itself, and then Sean goes to touch it and it just stops.
Yep. And they zoom up, and there's a girl sitting there combing her hair.
Do you want to play a game with me?
And then the whole the hollowed eyes and the jaw drops.
The Grave Encounters style ghost just.
She screams and she takes off.
Not so much running as floating behind them.
Yeah, more like floating. They close the door behind her and she starts beating on the glass and the glass cracks
and breaks. Yeah.
Okay, now they're not so happy anymore.
No, they're scared shitless. They barricade themselves in a room, and then all of a sudden, big bangs on the door.
Yes, and Andrew takes off, and Nikki goes with him. They split up. Why did they split up?
No, this is the scene where the security guard busts in.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about the security guard.
After the little girl chased them, and they get in, barricade themselves in that room.
Yes,
that's when all of a sudden there's banging on the door, and they're like, "Holy shit!" Shh. And then the security guard, he busts in, he's got his gun drawn, he's all pointing right at him.
Right,
and then they all go downstairs and they're talking, and he's like, "You'll have to take it up with the cops, you can't get your cameras."
Right. You're all under arrest for trespassing.
And then they hear the little pitter-patter of feet upstairs.
Yes.
And so the security guard goes up.
And that he fires 2 shots.
2 shots.
And
nothing else.
Gone. Missing.
So now Sean wants to get the damn cameras.
Yes.
It's $50,000 worth of school equipment and his film.
Right. So that's where they go. That's
when they split up.
That's when they split up. Well, first they're looking for the security guard to see what happened.
Yeah.
They find the 2 shells from the bullets he fired.
And they start freaking out at this point.
But no guard.
No. So they plan to split up, even though the only one that thought it was a good idea was Sean.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like, "This is just stupid. Let's not Scooby-Doo it."
Right. Yeah. They stay together, but they don't. And then and Charlie, or I'm sorry, Andrew goes, whoa, what do you mean? Because it was going to be Nikki and Charlie and Jenica and Sean and like,
Charlie.
And
so Andrew and Nikki, you know, I mean, they're B players in this film.
Yeah. But
so he already knows in the back of his head, I'm dead.
Yeah, and so Andrew goes, hey, wait a minute, I'm not doing this by myself. So then Charlie goes with Jenica and Sean, and then Nikki goes with Charlie. Or Andrew.
Yeah.
So now for some reason, and if you're gonna have to help me on this part.
Is this the window room scene?
Yes.
Okay, so they, him and Nikki, they get separated.
And how did Nikki separate from Andrew?
Well, he got ahead of her, and he's like, I found the room. And she's down the hallway a bit, and she yells, how do I get there? And he goes, just walk down the hallway. So he just proceeds into the room to get the camera and stuff. And he hears a noise, and he backs up, and he does some weird creeping thing. And he, like, stands right on his cue by the window. And then an invisible force pushes him right out the window, and he falls to his death. That's when Nikki hears the crash, comes running into the room,
and she sounds her horn.
Sounds her air horn.
And the next scene that we are shown is the other three up by the window. They see what happened.
They see the broken window. She's on the floor in tears.
And then they said, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah. But then Sean's like, well, it's on. The camera is rolling. Grabs the camera.
Yes, he watches it.
And then everybody sees that he didn't fall out.
No, he was pushed out.
By nothing.
Yes.
It just invisible force had pushed him out the damn window.
It looked like Magneto just went, whoa! And just threw him against the door.
And a great metallic belt buckle or something. It just tossed him out.
It was great. So now
they're trying to just get out of here. Screw the cameras.
Yeah, and now as they're running deeper and deeper into this into Commonwealth, they come across a table and the security guard.
Oh, the electric or whatever. It's some form of the electric probes on his head.
The security guard
is strapped to that table.
Yeah, yep. and he is strapped, and he's got this huge machine behind him. And when they go get him off, it turns on automatically, and he starts getting electrocuted.
Horribly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already been electrocuted, but it's like they turned it up to 11.
The side of his face was all burned up.
Yep. And then they shut it off, and they think they got him. They're starting to... Also, thing kicks back on, bunch of sparks.
Yeah, a bunch of sparks. He starts having seizures, and then he does...
Freaking... The sparks in his mouth that are coming out, then he catches on fire.
Yeah, he gets caught on fire. His chest catches on fire, then his arm, and then all of a sudden, the next thing is Jenica and Sean hugging.
Well, in the background, this dude's just...
Well, this guy is just getting burnt alive.
Yeah. I mean... Whoa.
So...
where was Andrew... Or not Andrew, but Charlie and Nikki. I don't remember, because they weren't in that scene, were they?
No, they were not.
Anyway.
But now... The next victim is Nikki.
Right.
And
once again, just an invisible force. You don't see anything.
I don't know. I was watching, and it looked like there was a shadow.
Really?
That grabbed her leg.
I didn't notice it. Oh, yeah. When it grabbed her leg, but I mean when she gets killed by
an unseen force
crushing her freaking head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Comes out her eyes, nose, and
now,
mouth.
how did she get split up again?
They were running, trying to get out, and she was ahead of them. She ran through
a door or a wall.
She ran through a door, and all of a sudden, by the time the rest of the gang got up there,
it was a wall.
It was a solid wall, but there were glow sticks leading up to it. So there had been a door. The building shifts.
Yes, the building does shift, obviously, because of the fact that in the first one, with Death Awaits, the door they went in, they opened
so
that
now
door.
She doesn't even have a flashlight or anything. She's stuck in a dark hallway. But there's a night vision camera at the end of this hallway, so she gets that, and she's using that to try to find her way around.
And she falls.
Yep.
And then that's when it looked like if you and for our audience members, if you watch really closely, you could. I thought I saw a shadow grab her.
Okay, there probably could have been, but at this point, she gets killed by crushing force on her skull by an invisible thing.
Right. So now all that's left is Charlie, Jenica, and Sean, and that is when they get to the room where they were supposed to be in the first place.
Oh,
on the lowest level.
That's right. They find the entrance door, and they leave. There's Andrew's body on top of the security guard's car. They take off running, all freaked out. They jump in the car. And they take off back for the hotel. And Jenica, she's emotionally just drained at this point. She sits on the bed, starts to cry.
Now, a part that I don't get is, obviously, we'll in a little bit we'll tell you what. But why does Jenica want to go back? Because she goes, we have to go get Nikki.
She doesn't know if Nikki's dead or alive. They have no idea what happened to her because nobody witnessed what happened to her. But they saw what happened to Andrew.
Yeah. Charlie just wants to go home. Sean's indifferent. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, he's basically telling everybody, shut up, calm down.
So even before they answer, they don't
come up with what they're going to do next.
They grab their equipment.
Whatever they have left in the hotel room, and they go down.
They grab all their stuff. They go in the hotel elevator. Then they push the button, and when it opens up,
I like the kind of the creepy maid. While the elevator doors are closing, there's just a creepy maid standing there staring right at them.
Yeah,
and it's just like that's kind of cool stuff. There's another part coming up in a death scene that I want to see if you noticed how cool it was.
Now, the elevator doors open up, and instead of being out in the hotel lobby,
it is the subtunnels of Commonwealth.
And they ask themselves, how could that be? And
we were just in the hotel.
And that's when Sean says, because this is what this building does.
Right. And she's like, this is not possible. She breaks down. She slides down the back of the elevator, and he's trying to get her up to get out. I mean, what would you do in a situation like that? I'd lose my shit.
Right, and they meet. Death awaits.
Lance Preston.
Lance Preston, the star of Grave Encounters 1, the star of Grave Encounters Episode 6, the only man that we thought had survived
from the original movie.
And died from the lobotomy.
Yeah.
He is indeed alive.
Well, he's not looking all that good, is he?
He has been in that Commonwealth for 9 years.
And 11 months.
And he is scratching with a rock how many days he's been in there.
Yeah. He grabs them out of this. He comes running through the mist.
Yes.
Grabs them. And follow me. And he takes them to where he sleeps or where he lives, basically, inside that building.
And he has been feeding off rats.
This entire time. His hair is all long. He's got the beard. He doesn't have a t-shirt on. His jeans are all ripped up. Before they even get back to Lance's, the area that he's living in, they climb through that air vent.
Yes.
And Charlie gets separated from him.
Yep.
And all of a sudden that damn little girl shows up again.
Yep. In the air vent.
In the air vent and just starts going after him. And he finally gets out and he's lost it. At that point, Charlie's just lost it. He just wants out.
And he gets back to the area where they're at, and
that's when they start talking to Lance.
And Lance starts talking about the old groundskeeper's name. I don't remember.
Yeah. He's got a key. He'll be 6 o'clock.
Yeah, he'll be here. 6 o'clock. He'll be here. He's got a key. And he says to him, he goes,
"Well, he committed suicide a year ago."
Yeah, right.
That's what Sean says to Lance.
And it's funny because he doesn't have no. combination of time anymore.
No, he thinks he's only been in there 9 months, 11 days, 2 hours. That's what he's got it down to. But it's actually been 9 years, 11 months.
And 2 days.
Yeah. So, I mean.
So he has no help. But on his wall, he's painted something.
He finishes the painting in the rat's blood that he just ate in front of everybody.
It was a red door.
Right.
And Sean goes, take me to this door.
Yeah.
They take him to a door.
And it's just a freestanding door.
It's a freestanding door. On the other side, on the other side is the hallway.
And there's chains crisscrossing it.
Right.
And that's where the bolt cutter comes into play.
Yes, and they said, this is our way out. We have to get the bolt cutters, which are way in the bowels of the subtunnels. They forgot it.
So they go to, like, a bathroom or something. It's got a tiled wall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lance, he's mapped out this, over the years, mapped out the changes. There's patterns in the changes that the Commonwealth does. So he's kind of got it figured out how to get around. They go to a closet door. He opens it, just a broom closet. Closes it, opens again, broom closet. Closes it, they're getting frustrated. Like, you don't know where you're going. You're like, opens it again, it's a hallway. So they go through it. How is that possible? The building changes, it shifts.
Like Cube.
Like Cube. Right.
So he takes a steel pipe and knocks out the wall.
Of the bathroom or whatever they're in. Yeah,
Charlie goes through it, grabs the tools.
He doesn't go through it, he falls through it.
Okay, he falls through it.
So Lance busts the wall.
Yep.
It ends up being a floor to the hall, or the ceiling to a hallway below it, which they could not figure out how the heck that worked out.
And the minute he gives him the tools, or he can't give him the tools because that hole that Lance just created is now bricked.
Right.
With a cross.
So, yeah. So
with an X on where the first initial hit was made.
Yep. So it's a bad situation for them all. They're all separated again. Then they go to take a rest, right? Yeah, they
find him.
They find Charlie, and then they
all
rest for a couple hours.
Yeah, they said we got to rest.
There's a time lapse of them sleeping.
And in that time frame, you see a camera go out of the bag, floats,
does a couple pan shots of everybody. Okay, cheesy moment in the movie,
and then falls back in the bag.
But kind of crucial to the subplot of finish the film.
So Charlie takes the camera, and goes into a separate area.
Goes into a bathroom stall and does his last will and testament.
He says he's going to die here, and he hears some scattering and scraping around, And he pans the camera, and it's Lance with a steel pipe.
Beats him over the head twice, then strangles him.
And blood is coming out of his mouth and the wound, and he basically plunges
This is the point that I wanted to make, is if you're watching this scene, you see the moment he dies. All of a sudden, if you look into his eyes dilate, and he's dead.
Yes.
I thought that was so cool the way they did that.
Yes,
I thought that was very neat. It's just kind of a little special effect that just kind of helps the movie.
Don't quote me on this, but you'll probably never see Charlie in another movie again.
Probably not.
So Jenica and Sean see him bludgeoned.
Yeah.
Eyes are almost popping out of his head.
And they're all bloodshot.
And they realize that Lance is not an ally anymore. He is an enemy.
Yeah, Sean's like, I should have listened to Charlie. He didn't trust Lance.
No, he didn't. And
he had good reason to.
Right. And what we see now, Sean and Jenica don't see this, but Lance runs into a room where in the first one it had writing all throughout the entire wall.
Yeah, one of the patients' rooms.
We had thought initially that, and we should have covered this in our last episode. All you subscribers who are listening, we do apologize.
Oh yeah.
But there was in the first film during the walkthrough they saw a room that a bunch of writing on the wall.
A bunch of craziness.
A bunch of incoherent stuff. Well, Lance goes to this room, and he has a camera, and he starts talking to this wall.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, in response to his questions, writing appears on the wall.
Yes, so apparently...
That's how he communicates with the ghost of Commonwealth.
Yes, and he says... I'm getting out now. I'm getting out now. I can go through the red door. I got the bolt cutters. Blah 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 blah. And it says collect the tapes.
Right. Finish the film. And when that comes, he's like collect the tapes. All of a sudden, the building shakes. A big crack.
Yeah.
Is how it starts the F, and then it's just finish the film.
Yes.
Finish the film. That's when we see him walking down the hallway. He's all crazy. All of a sudden. He straightens up.
Yep.
And he's back to how he was, host of Grave Encounters.
Right. He even goes, hello, this is Lance Preston.
Yeah, he all said this is Lance Preston with Grave Encounters.
And he talks all serious and sensible.
Yeah, he's totally coherent at this point.
But then a few seconds later, collect the tapes.
Collect the tapes.
Finish the film.
So he's messed up.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Can you imagine being in that place for 10 years?
Oh, I'm surprised. I'm surprised he even remembered himself as the host of Grave Encounters.
To even remember how to speak.
So he realizes what he has to do: collect the tapes, finish the film. He'll be free man.
Yep. He can, as soon as he collects all the tapes, he's got the bolt cutters. He can break the chain, and he can go through the red door, which is the exit of the building.
No, he's got the bolt cutters. He cuts the doors. He cuts the chains off. He goes,
puts his arms out.
Yes.
Walks through,
and nothing.
He goes right out the other side.
Yep, right into the hallway.
Right, didn't go anywhere. So he turns around, goes back out. Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Again,
yeah,
absolutely nothing.
So Jenica and Sean finally catch up, and now it is survival of the fittest.
Right. And then there's an entire shakedown, or the ending of the movie. Well, not the ending of the movie, but the climax happens in that room with the red door. They get to the red door. They find the padlock and the chain and everything's broken. They're like, crap, he already went through it. How are we going to get out? We're not going to get out. He's sitting in the corner. Lance.
Yes.
It didn't work. So he stands up. He's got all the cameras in duffel bags, and they all start to float.
Right.
And they start to spin around everybody. And this is where it all goes down. And Sean somehow gets the lead pipe from Lance, or she does.
Yeah,
because Lance is
on. Lance and
Sean are fighting, right? And Lance is on top of Sean, choking him.
Yep.
And that's when she hits him over the head with the lead pipe, and the Evil Dead 2 ending happens. I mean, I don't get this.
Okay.
Where the frickin' wall opens up, Evil Dead 2 style, and sucks Lance in.
Yeah, what was that?
I have no idea. There was no lead up. All of a sudden, this frickin' swirling vortex of death opens up in a wall. Just like at the end of Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, I don't get that.
But you don't pick it up. Lance being in, the 1800s.
But now Lance did tell him that they had to finish the film.
Yeah.
To get out.
Sean, yeah.
So they have to.
I got to finish the film.
So
I'm sorry.
Well, they don't have all the cameras yet, so they have to go get the cameras. That's why they go in the bowels, back in the subtunnels, where Dr. Freaking is at.
Yeah. They see all that. They hide in a closet, and all that. They get all the cameras, right?
Yes. They get that. Yeah, they had to get that last final camera.
Yeah, they find the surgical ward.
Yes.
Yeah, or wing, or whatever
the lobotomy room, I call it.
Yeah. And there's 2 nurses and friggin'
and a guy on a gurney.
Yeah, and that's where he does all his weird, because he's got the skull with the whatever. This is that really crappy, horrible scene with the baby, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh my God! Why do they do this?
You know, all the movies we've reviewed,
there's always been a scene in the movie that's just a little bit too much.
In this one,
They
yeah.
don't. I mean, it's a shot where he's holding the baby, and as a sacrifice, basically,
Yeah.
he kills it. Anyway,
Well, let's not get into the details.
No.
Of that. And
So anyway,
and
then-
we're not showing that scene.
no. At any rate, what happens is they make some noise in the closet. One of the nurses come, hollow eyes, big mouth,
Ah!
Yeah. and they take off running.
Yep.
They get back to the room with all the cameras, and Sean and her, they trying to figure out how the hell they're going to get out of here, but they're in the room with the red door.
Right.
This is where Sean he figures it out,
Yeah.
but there's only one way to do this. And how is that, Adrian?
He has to kill the star of the movie.
That's right. He says to her,
You are the star.
your death scene, you've always wanted your death scene to be that.
And you are the star. So he takes the camera and hits her over the face with it.
And it's the camera that's being shown. You know,
Yes.
it's the
You're seeing what the camera's seeing.
scene, exactly.
And
So it's just against her face.
and
like
it
3 or 4
keeps
times.
going, and she keeps, and it's just, and
It gets worse and worse and worse. With
her
each time.
brains are falling out of her skull, and she's still alive.
Yeah. And that's when he just collects the duffel bag full of cameras, walks through the door
And he's outside.
in a desert.
Yeah. And the door crumbles.
Oh,
After
that
he
was a
loses it.
cheesy effect.
Yeah, that was
though.
pretty bad.
That was pretty bad. I'll give you that. That was
And the
pretty
next
cheesy.
scene you see,
Is from a police cruiser camera's point of view.
yes. And he is, and Sean is walking just nonchalantly into the streets.
Right down the middle of his street.
Yeah,
He
and-
doesn't even know what town he or
No,
what city he's in.
he's got the duffel bag. He's just walking, just
Covered in her blood.
Yeah.
Still. And the cops stop him. You know, we got reports of you crossing the I-5.
Yep.
You know.
And he goes, where am I? Where am I? You're in L.A.
Yep.
He
in
walked
LA.
the entire time.
They slam him down because he's covered with blood. He's got all the cameras.
Give me my duffel bag. Give me my bag.
They handcuff him. Fade to black.
Which he thought was the end.
And then all of a sudden it's a shot of that douchebag producer, Jerry, and Sean sitting in front of an editing station talking about
Grave Encounters 2.
that this kid just brought me the, he came to me and said that he had created the sequel to Grave Encounters.
Yep. And then they said, and we want to assure you.
Oh, yeah. Jerry's like, the mistake I made with the first one is leading you into believing that it was real.
Right.
This one is completely fake. There is nothing real in this entire film. And Sean, all he does is have his head, heavy eyes, and his head down the entire time. Because he knows different.
Yes, he does.
And then at the very end, he goes, he says, what's he say about Commonwealth? It's like, don't go looking for this building. There's nothing there.
Right.
Looking directly into the camera. And then it's the end. Credits.
Yes, that was the credits. Now, I just want to say that there's only a handful of sequels, in my opinion, that are better than the original.
Yes.
You could do Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan was better than the original.
Right. Well, very much so.
The
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back was better than A New Hope.
Right.
Terminator 2 was better than the first Terminator, in my opinion. Some people don't think so.
I do.
This one, in my opinion, Grave Encounters 2,
It was better than the original.
was better than the original. You may, I
No,
may be wrong.
I agree too, but I still find the first one, good too. This one, will be a better rating.
We do a rating systems here on Movie Obscura. Which one what should we do with this one?
I believe we should do half-eaten rats.
That's what I was going to say. Is dead rats.
What are you?
Yeah, I was going to say half-eaten rats. Okay, scale to 1 to 5, Kelly. What would you rate this?
I'd give it about a 4.2 half-eaten rats. That's a 0.2.
You thought this was excellent.
I did. I thought this was a very good film. I thought it was better. Better than the original.
This one I
still enjoyed the original very much so, but this was better.
This one...
this brought a hell of a lot more to the storyline.
And it made sense. For you watch the first one,
It brought the first one into making sense also.
Yes, and it made it full circle.
Right,
basically.
Right, it did.
So I like this one a lot better as well. I'm going to give this one a 3.5 on Grave Encounters 2. Now, since we watched both of them, we like to do a ratings.
Even on trilogies and duologies,
yes.
We will do a rating.
No, we're gonna do stars on this one for the entire set.
I think that's what probably we should do. It's just stars for the duology and trilogies.
So overall, how would you rate the Grave Encounters?
On
duology?
average, probably about 4 stars. I really enjoyed these movies. Like I said on the last one, I'm not a fan generally of found footage films, but I really, really, really enjoyed these 2 movies as found footage films.
Well, since I gave the first one,
I think you gave it a 1.
2. Give me a little credit.
Not much better.
And 3.5 for the second one.
Much better.
I'm going to give this 3 stars.
Just an okay average.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good movie.
Good.
2.5 is average.
Maybe you should explain the rating system to me one more time.
1, poor. 2, average. 3, good. 4, excellent. 5, instant classic.
By podcast number 50, I should have this down.
Yes, we hope so. Coming up, we do want you to send your suggestions to Facebook and Twitter on movies you'd like us to review.
Right. The Movie Obscura on Facebook and at Movie Obscura on Twitter.
We do want to thank our new recent subscribers and followers.
Yes, thank you very much. You really help us kind of try to better the podcast. We're now doing a full video for every one of the podcasts, along with our audio podcast that should be up on iTunes soon. And
once again, keep sending your suggestions. And we just have one rule, though. We want to keep the Movie Obscura series as movies that may
not too mainstream.
Yeah. Many people don't know about.
Right.
We did get one suggestion, a movie that was made in the I'd say mid '80s, a John Landis film though that I don't think got a whole lot of credit for. It's called Amazon Women from the Moon.
Amazon Women from the Moon.
It's got an all-star cast of people who were not stars at the time.
So we'll be doing that one here in the future, based on request.
Yes, and our next 2 films, though, as promised, we are doing The Collector and The Collection.
Right. That's a duology of just basically a mass serial killer.
Yes, and we're gonna review those, and also follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our podcast,
or subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. So, for Movie Obscura, I'm Kelly.
I'm Adrian.
We out.